Hi, Tim Roye. Time now for another edition of the Warriors Owner Box, where you, the fans, can send in your emails, ask your questions of the Golden State Warriors ownership, and Joe Lacob is here to help answer your questions. Now, many of you send in questions of a similar vein, so we pick one on that particular topic and move on. Again, we try to get to as many as we can. And Joe, we're right at the quarter pole of the season right now, and it's just been a series of tough fourth quarters for the Golden State Warriors. You know, a couple of plays, a couple of shots, and the story of the season to the date would be vastly different.
Well, Tim, you're definitely right. It's been a very tough season. We've had some tough injuries, certainly. The Kwame Brown injury, particularly devastating, since that's what we really spent the whole summer trying to do, which is to increase or improve our interior defense. So that hurts, and Steph Curry being out certainly has hurt. But those are no excuses. I think we still have a better team than we had last year, and we have had some tough breaks. We have not closed games well, and I think if you talk to the coaching staff or to the players even, you'll see that they agree. We are not performing or have not performed to the level we need to perform at the end of games up to this point in the season, and we need to improve that.
Warriors in the middle of a homestand right now, hoping to get a couple more wins. Andy Anderson's going to be our first question for the day, and he says he wants to congratulate you on bringing Jerry West on board in the offseason. I just started his autobiography, and among the many interesting stories and quotes was this: today's preseason games are so lacking in anything that it's wrong to even charge fans to come, end quote. Well, he goes, please consider this for your season ticket holders, this lockout shortened year in particular, but the pricing for tickets varies in every game though.
We have something that we have gone to, which is dynamic pricing essentially, and different games are going to be priced differently on a going forward basis, simply because of demand. And the high demand games, clearly everyone wants to go to, and so we have to price those higher, and the lower demand games we price lower. So certainly a preseason game isn't as in demand, and we understand his concern.
And then be adjusted accordingly, obviously, years to come?
Yes.
Let's move on to Tanya Fuller-Bryant, who is a security guard at Oracle Arena. And she says, hello, Mr. Lacob. She also says hello to Peter Gruber, too. And I want to say thank you for the new look for the Warriors season, and welcome back to a great year of NBA basketball. I am an employee. I hold the position as a security guard for SMG, and she says big things are coming. And from one who's been with the Warriors for a long time, a lot of great people over there working for us on game night.
I want to tell you that when I get to the games, the security people are so friendly. Maybe they're only friendly to me, I don't know. But they really are friendly, and I engage with them a lot. They engage with me, and I want to say I really appreciate all of them and their efforts to make our atmosphere at our arena certainly a friendly one, and to make it efficient for our fans. So very much appreciate that.
Yeah, we appreciate them immensely. They're good people. Rich in D.C. is next up. He's someone that used to write into Tim Roye's journal. It says, hi, Peter and Joe. As a diehard fan, I wish we changed the focus of signing free agents and play the rookies. It's cheaper, and we're interested in their potential. He goes, I hope Jeremy Tyler becomes an explosive dunk machine. Tompkins and Jenkins blossom to be strong contributors, and I know you're excited about those three.
Well, we really are, and I think we have had a pretty good draft so far. It's only quarter of the season, as you point out, but clearly Tyler hasn't played very much. I think big men, it takes longer to develop, and look at some of these other players that have taken 3 years before they become the player they are. If you're a big guy, it just takes a little longer. So we'll see with Jeremy, but I think we have great hopes for him. Jenkins has been outstanding. He has spot started when Steph was out. We think he's shooting a very high percentage. He doesn't make many mistakes. He's an excellent mid-range shooter. Obviously needs to develop his longer range shooting a little bit. So we're very happy with his performance as well. And finally, Clay, sort of inverse order, if you will. I think Clay obviously had a rough start adjusting to the speed of the game in terms of his shooting. But he is coming on like gangbusters and shooting a much higher percentage now. Great long range, which we expected. Very exciting shooter. Comes on, I know in last night's game he had 7 points in the blink of an eye. And I think you're going to see as he gets more and more time, he's going to be an explosive scorer. So to the point of whether these guys should be playing more, that's up to the coaches certainly. I think that in the NBA you have to spend a little time learning the system. On the bench, we have some very good players ahead of them, but I think they're going to get more and more time as the season goes on, and you're going to see that we have some good young players.
And for Rich, there's a happy medium between both. You can sign good free agents and still grow your rookies and grow their potential.
Well, look, this is especially this season, right? 66 games in a compressed schedule. People are getting injured at a high rate. They're getting tired. There's going to be a tremendous amount of time for all of these players to get plenty of time on the court as the year goes on.
Cliff White wants to know a short note to say how I love how you have redecorated Oracle Arena. I'm a season ticket holder in the upper level, but I really do see the big picture now. The new scoreboard really looks great, and I know you've worked with the JPA on helping improve Oracle Arena.
We did. We worked with the JPA and trying to improve the fan experience here as much as we can. And we've put quite a bit of capital into the arena. New scoreboard, new sound system. We've certainly worked with Levy, our food vendor, to improve the food. We're doing everything we can within constraints. And the JPA has actually been good to work with, and we're going to continue to do that while we're still playing here in Oakland, which we hope is a long time.
That's Oracle Arena, the best atmosphere in the NBA. Jim Ramsey wants to know, I just wanted to send you a Monte Ellis stat I found after watching the first few games. It was from last year, and when Monte had 8 or more assists, the Warriors won 10 games and lost 5. And an even closer look, 4 of those 5 losses were on the road by just an average of 3.8 points. And his game's really rounding out. Last year, he led all shooting guards in assists, and he's doing it at a high level again this year. And the thing I think that maybe some people don't realize is that every night he's doing this against the other team's best defender.
Certainly true. Tim, Monte Ellis is a great player. I mean, some people believe that he's the 3rd best shooting guard in the league. And I think it's very likely true. He leads all NBA 2 guards in assists. And I think that maybe the 2nd year in a row he's done that. You might know that stat. So I think Monte is definitely rounding out his game. He's getting better as the years go on. He certainly has a lot of heart. He needs to get better like a lot of our players. They need to finish out these games, as we've pointed to. And Monte certainly would admit as well that he's got to do a better job of doing that. But having said that, he certainly has improved a lot. He's a much more well-rounded player than he was in the past. And assists are always a good thing because it involves your teammates more.
Yeah, it helps make your teammates better. And I think he would have been an all-star at this point had he played maybe in the Eastern Conference, just simply because the guards in the West have been stacked the last few years. A lot of good guards.
Definitely true.
All right, let's move on. And our next question comes from Dennis Wong, who's a longtime fan. He says, I frequent many sporting events in the Bay Area, and I realize the cost of eating at any venue is steep. He says, unfortunately, he did not have a great experience. I'm going to paraphrase here so we can get to it quickly. He had some food at Oracle Arena, didn't like how it tastes. I know you guys have always looked at improving the fan experience, especially with the food.
Well, I like food. Food is a very important thing to me, and I'm sure it is to a lot of the fans too. You come to a game, you're going to be there for the entire experience, not just 2-hour game, but maybe 3 hours in total, maybe longer. And so food and the parking and all these other things are very, very important. We're very focused on it. We're doing the best we can. We're making a lot of changes very quickly. I'm sad to hear that he did not enjoy whatever it is he ate.
Cheeseburger, garlic fries, and a bottle of water.
Well, I'd like to know where he ate that, and I'd like to go up and try one myself and see how the food is going in that part of the arena. But I know the cheeseburgers I've had actually recently been pretty good there. So, we're going to continue. All I can say is we're going to continue to work on that, and bear with us.
And also, just so you know, keep sending in your comments. If you have an experience that you're not totally satisfied with, we want to know about it. So
absolutely true. Absolutely.
Here at the owner's box. Now, next up is Zach. He says, I heard you on KNBR the other day. You said that the goal is to make the playoffs. Why would that be your goal? He says over half the teams make the playoffs. And I think he's talking about where you see the franchise going, I think.
Well, what I think said or meant to say is our near-term goal is to make the playoffs. Certainly, once in 17 years is not sufficient.
Amen.
We all know this, and it's on us. It's on the coaching staff, it's on the players, it's on the management team, it's on you, Tim.
I know.
It's on all of us to make sure that we make the playoffs. Our fans deserve it. And I'm one of these fans too. I deserve it. We all deserve it. We want to make it. We're going to do everything we can to make those playoffs, and ultimately to win and have a winning culture, and to be able to consistently make the playoffs, and eventually, hopefully sooner rather than later, win a championship. And we're going to do it. We are going to do it. Unfortunately, this is a difficult business, and maybe even more difficult than I thought, because you need a break or two. And when I was with Boston, it took 4 years of losing before we got Kevin Garnett, the big trade that helped us get over the top. And when you get over the top, you tend to get over the top in a big way if you do it with the right player. So we're cognizant of that. We're looking at, I can assure our fans every day, at trying to make better moves to improve our team in every way we can, every little thing. And we're going to get there.
You know, a good example for you to consider too for fans is that look at teams like Chicago and Oklahoma City. Now they're championship contenders this year. People think they could win the title, but it took them a series of years from first round exits in the playoffs and now getting to the conference finals. It is a process.
It's a process, and Mark Jackson and I were just talking about this the last few days. Obviously we're not happy with the way we finished some of these games, some of the early losses, but it is a process. Winning is about culture. It's about technique, and it's about coaching, and it's about effort and all those things, but it's about the culture of the organization. And we are changing that, but it doesn't happen overnight all the time. And you need people that have won before sometimes. We have a young team, so it's taking us a little bit of time to get over the hump, but we will do it.
Let's move on to Brian Fong, who wants to know, thank you for bringing new energy into the Warriors organization. I've been in a group with season tickets and going to games regularly for the last 12 years. Thank you, Brian, for that. And this is from a game he said, last night got to Oracle about 7 p.m., waited 30 minutes just to get in the parking lot, then had to wait another 20 or 30 to get into the arena. We missed a bunch of time in the first quarter because I've never had such a problem about getting into the arena. So
unacceptable. So, certainly when someone has a problem like that, I don't care, just one problem matters to us. It doesn't have to be 10 or 20 or a lot. One is enough for us to want to make some change. And so please make sure you get to somebody in our organization that can get that to our management, and we will take a look at why that occurred and make sure it doesn't happen again.
And the organization, I know, is studying ways to get people into the parking lots and into the arena quicker using barcodes and things like that.
We are working on a number of we have a different parking company this year, and we are looking at a few alternatives that will help speed that up. That is true.
So as we wrap this up here, another edition of the Warriors Owner Box. Again, please keep sending your emails and comments. We want to know about your fan experience. Any last thoughts for the fans?
Well, I would just encourage everybody, as hard as it may seem sometimes, and I know it's been hard for all of us Warrior fans for a long time, stick with it. Stick with us. We're doing everything possible to build a winning team and a winning organization, and we're going to get there. I think we have a great coaching staff, and Mark Jackson and Mike Malone and the rest of the crew are doing a terrific job. And I know it's very difficult. After every game, you want to make an instant decision and you want to judge. I do it too, but you can't do that. You have to stick with your team and to know that we're headed in the right direction. We will get there, and I assure you, when the opportunities arise to improve this team in any way we can, we'll do it, and you'll be proud of us.
All right, that's Joe Lacob. I'm Tim Roye. Thank you for tuning in here at Warriors.com.